Hi everyone, I'm joined today by a lady that possibly needs no introduction at all, Wendy Alberts, CEO of RASA, and an absolute brave warrior that's been fighting a tremendous fight at the forefront. So Wendy, thank you for your time and taking the time out of your busy schedule today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the invitation by Nedbank. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be here with you guys.
Since we last met, we met prior to the third wave now coming into effect. What has this done for the restaurant industry?
Obviously, the alarming conversation that starts with the third wave leads to a lot of emotional disruption within the industry. It causes massive emotion and a lot of emotional pain for the restaurants, because the threat of everything that we've been through for the last year rests heavily again on our shoulders. And it leads to us being concerned about job losses, potential business closures, more restaurants closing, liquor bans taking place, us adjusting our business models. Everything that COVID has taught us over the last year has certainly shown us that we remodel our business every time there's an announcement by the President of South Africa.
So on that note, to the role that you actually have to do. After the President speaks, we've become very accustomed to seeing you speak thereafter. It's no secret that this has been, a lot of weight on the industry. It's been a lot of weight on you. How do you manage and balance that emotional aspect to the role that you actually have to do?
One of the key things to success in life is having clear lines of communication. Communication is the glue of life, and what we've learned quickly through the onset of COVID is that we didn't want any type of distorted communication that sent the wrong messaging, which caused further impact on us. So we also learned that by not putting out a voice in the industry, we were also dictated through the different stages of COVID by government's interpretation of what they believe the industry to be. So we quickly and vehemently needed to set ourselves apart from the rest of the hospitality trade, and for us then to have conversations with government that allowed us to remodel our businesses and to also support governments in the balance of lives versus livelihoods.
Maybe we can touch on what has been some of the hardest felt pains amidst this pandemic for the Restaurant Association.
So one, we had to learn new skills, and we had to quickly tap into different components in the market to get that information, that skill and that training to become compliant in terms of delivering product. The transparency of clear communication in terms of getting it from the right resources was critical. So we quickly built very good relationships with all the ministerial divisions, and we also found that there couldn't be delay, because every day that there was a delay in our industry meant that more restaurants were closing and more people were losing jobs. And it really just put us in a very, very sad, very critical, very demoralized and a very emotionally traumatized space. We were consumed with stress and concern and demands on our staff, looking for money, trying to keep people's mouths fed, trying to get people into our businesses, dealing with the landlords, and then also tackling all the debt that people were looking at wanting repayments on. So it was an entire spiraling of an industry that was most loved, that nobody was supporting. So when the last lockdown happened in the festive season at the height of summer, that really killed the complete spirit of an entrepreneur that works within the restaurant sector.
I think, you make mention of so much on how the industry has evolved, and you speak very frequently about changing or adapting to the current ways of working. Top of mind for me is how do you keep yourself energized through the difficulty and the complexity that you have to deal with on a frequent basis? What keeps you going? And special mention in reference to your sitting at Parliament. What brought that about? Day in, day out, you were there, you were present, and you were fighting for a valuable contributor to the economy. What gave you, or what gives you that strength?
It's critical that when we look and we feel, and I'm very drawn to the emotional aspect of the restaurateurs and the beautiful staff and the people that work in it. And when we got hit hard and people called on me and I felt the pain, I needed to do something for the industry. I knew that there was a possibility that I could get government to hear in the logical approach that we took by removing myself from the emotion day to day of not even being able to run my own business, by having critical conversations and outlining the facts, bring the statistics, bring us the absolute truth. And that was where the part came in, where I believed that I was the voice for the industry. And with the relationships that I'd built over time of running RASA, it was easy for me to tap into those relationships and ask for the support that we needed to reopen the doors and to get the support that we needed. People were committing suicide, people had lost their jobs, people couldn't support their homes and their families. The depression in our industry was at its highest that it had ever been. And people's moods and their moral fiber had just got to a place of hopelessness. And I knew that I needed to talk to the president, because I knew he was the only person in South Africa that could make the decision.
So we understand there's been a lot of doom and gloom and a very depressed environment, as you rightfully said. But there has been a portion of success that has come out, as a result of this pandemic and people rising to the challenge. What do you think, in your mind, as a restaurateur yourself, sets apart a successful operation of people that rode the wave during these tough times versus the guys that were just unable to do that? What are some of the top qualities that you think is vital for a restaurateur amidst these challenging times?
There's nothing more beautiful walking into an establishment that is alive, that's got energy. And when you go into establishments where they're well staffed and they're well presented and a beautiful menu and a gorgeous experience, and the staff are happy and their level of service is at the greatest possible, health and safety standards met, all the protocols met, it makes for a complete recipe for success. That is one element, was having the right attitude moving through COVID. The second fold was a complete transformation of restaurateurs who were very clever financially. So a lot of restaurateurs came back into their own businesses and they started managing their own businesses. And we had quick conversations with landlords, with banks, with insurance companies, with suppliers, and we quickly reframed and remodeled through assistance from the Restaurant Association of South Africa, the conversations you need to have with each one of those dynamics in order to save your business. Coupled with that, what we've also seen is a lot of innovation. So we've certainly seen that restaurants are certainly remodeling themselves.
Oh, fantastic. I think, at Nedbank, one of the things that we were very passionate about at the start, and I think that's when our relationship started, is that, one of our values is using our financial expertise to good. And you've probably seen our latest, campaign out, Taking Your Money Seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons why we want to be close to this industry and be close to the association as Nedbank. Through this journey with RASA and various restaurateurs out there, we've picked up a massive evolution in terms of getting onto e-commerce platforms. We've launched our own super app called Evo, and from various stats that are coming out, we've seen that e-commerce deliveries and so on has accelerated tremendously in South Africa. What is your views on e-commerce, and how has that transformed the industry amidst this last year?
Myth, I remember calling out to the banks in totality and said to the banks, you know what, we're in a critical state in the industry. And one of the things I always respect Nedbank for is that you put up your hands first. And you said, look, we're here to support the industry. We understand how complex it is. We understand the red tape. We understand the gearing. We understand where the restaurant industry. I'm always eternally grateful for the products that Nedbank brought to the table in the difficult times of COVID. You were the only bank that stood forward to come to save the restaurant industry. And when we called out to many of the banks, you certainly came with great products and you supported. And one-on-one, many of those restaurateurs who were needing some kind of extra support on a one-on-one basis, the doors were open with the team that we had built with Nedbank to bring those products to be able to allow those restaurants to continue trading. So it was certainly, manna from heaven that you guys came on board with us, and we'll be forever grateful for that. And I think, as the evolution of our relationship moves forward, there are so many different products at a different space in time that is required. And I love the fact that Nedbank is completely innovative. And, like you say, one of the key components is e-commerce. We certainly have seen that it has been a side to the industry which has been hugely developing.
So, Wendy, before I let you go, because we can chat probably the whole day, if you had to give 3 tips to a restaurateur out there amidst these challenging times, what would those 3 tips be? And let's call it tips from CEO Wendy Alberts.
The 3 tips that I'd like to give our beautiful restaurateurs through these difficult times is 1, to remain positive, remain invested in your business, be reminded that you're a passionate, beautiful, enthusiastic operator, and never give up on your dream. Secondly is to invest in the beautiful people who run your businesses, grow them from within, look after them, support them, and they will be with you for future to come. They've also been hurt by the hardship that's currently happened in our industry. And the third most important thing is open up the lines of communication. Talk to your suppliers, talk to your banks, talk to your insurance companies, talk to us. There's always a lending hand on the extension of a heartfelt conversation where you request help and you request support. You're never alone, no matter how dark your business may feel or how many dark days we've taken through this difficult time of COVID.
Great. Wendy, it was an absolute beautiful experience to have you on today and to converse with you to get some deeper insights. I'm really appreciative on the behalf of Nedbank for all you do for the industry, all you do out for the people out there. You truly are one of the superwomen in South Africa, and I take my hat off to all your efforts. We are here to support you as much and as far as we can, so you can count on us as Nedbank to be there and walk this journey with RASA as we have over the longest period recently. So thank you for your time. I'm really, really appreciative of it, and all the best.
I'm humbled by your beautiful words, and thank you for your support, and thank you for everybody in your team and Nedbank as being a true, authentic partner of the Restaurant Association, and for holding our hands through difficult stages and that we can always rely on you to be there for us.